And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Lockleys Oval and to the home of the mighty West Torrens Eagles, where the match-up today is between the reigning premiers West Torrens and the mighty Sturt Saints. We come down to an interesting part of the season as we turn into the home straight, where the last few games are now going to decide the positions in the league ladder. With the Henley Rams sitting pretty clear on top, it's now going to come down to these last few matchups between teams like Sturt and West Torrens to see who's going to finish in the minor placings and perhaps secure a home final. At the moment, we've got the Adelaide Angels and Sturt tied in second spot on points, and obviously West Torrens are in fourth place. West Torrens have got 2 games in hand because of rainouts, and I think Sturt might have at least one game as well in hand to be played. So today we're looking at the big matchup between Sturt and West Torrens. Starting pitcher today for the Eagles is the West Torrens import, Masa Kia Sawada. He'll be throwing to Oscar Webber, who's behind the dish. Going around the infield, we'll have Tom McGarry playing at first base, Sam McGarry at second. At third base, looks like it's going to be Ryan Broom. Shortstop today will be Jacob Scott. Into the outfield, and we have got Mason Clavel playing out at left field, Jasper Clark at centre, and out at right field is Jude Barker. Behind the dish today is the highly experienced Neil Poulton. Out at first base is Dalton Osborne. We're ready. Lead-off hitter is Harrison Nucky from Sturt. Just inside on the first pitch. Beautiful day out here at Lockleys. Sun's shining. The breeze is blowing up with a nice sea breeze. Definitely going out to left. As Nucky takes a pitch for a strike. It's 1-1. So as I say, reach an incredibly interesting situation in the season for all the teams that are sitting, probably the top 7 or 8 teams are sitting with aspirations of making the finals. The only team that's absolutely and utterly qualified at the moment is Henley. And whilst Sturt and West Torrens are looking like they may well win it, there's a ground ball to Scott, to McGarry at first base to retire the first hitter. So 1 down. Next up for Sturt is the second baseman, number 35, Mitch Lightbody. Lightbody, of course, is recovered from injury that he suffered last season. It's good to see him back on the deck. He's an excellent player. He's had some time with the Adelaide Giants and, of course, a stellar career as a junior playing for state teams and what have you. And looks at the first pitch for a strike. Sawada, of course, comes to West Torrens from Japan. He was here last year as the West Torrens import through the grand final, and he came back late-ish in the season. He's been a bit slow to start, but with West Torrens' woes on the mound, he's had to step up and lift his workload. He's now probably carrying the number 1 pitcher's mantle after Will Corticus hurt his elbow earlier in the season at Southern Districts. So Sawada's done an excellent job. He's now thrown an equal number of innings to what Corticus had done. Corticus threw a tremendous beginning to the season. It was such a tragedy for him that unfortunately he hurt his elbow, his UCL, and so he's having to take a spell for the rest of the season. Sawada stepping up. Ball's lifted. McGarry's under it at second base, and he takes the catch. So that's 2 down. Coming up and batting clean-up, the DH for the day, of course, is familiar to everybody. He's now a dual Claxton Shield winning player for the Adelaide Giants. when he plays his club ball, it's fantastic to see them come back, the Giants players, when they can. It's Rickson Wingrove, of course. And Rickson, of course, is signed in the Phillies minor league organisation. He had a fantastic year last year, and he'll be heading back soon to pick up his pre-season or his spring training with the Phillies. Turns on that one, but it's foul. Evens the count 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes now on Wingrove. Sawada thought he might have had that call, but Polton didn't agree, and the count sets at 2-2. Fouls that back, and it's still 2-2. Top of the first innings for Sturt. 2 out. Full count. And that's going to be a hit to Wingrove as he strokes it into the gap. Scott's unable to handle it. I think that the scorers would be generous enough to say that was a hit. And he moves down to first base on the first hit of the day for Sturt. And batting clean-up now is Terrell Joyce, a highly respected young man who's been out to South Australia for a lot of years now. Started at Glenelg, came across to West Torrens for a year, and then went to Sturt's, been there for the last 3 or 4 years. And of course, highly respected, grew up in the Houston Astros organisation, and a fine gentleman and a very good baseball player. Takes the first pitch for a ball. And he gives that plenty. Barker's going out, and Barker can't get under it. And it's going to be at least a double. The ball's coming home, and McGarry throws it into the fence for an error, and Sturt score their first run. The stand-up double for Joyce, and the throwing error into the fence picks up the run, and Joyce moves to third. Batting 5. There's Jordan McArdle, skipper for the Adelaide Giants and a veteran player now for the Sturt Baseball Club. Has been around since he was in diapers, I think. And a wild pitch scores the second run for Sturt. So a great comeback from Sturt after losing the first 2 batters. So a single to Wingrove, a stand-up double, and an error to Terrell Joyce picked Wingrove up. And now Joyce picks a run up himself on a wild pitch. McArdle's on 2-0. Certainly smoked that one down the line for a foul ball. 2 balls, 1 strike for McArdle. Nice off-speed pitch there by Sawada. McArdle swings through it. Even the count at 2-2. Full count now on McArdle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And McArdle stands up there and punches it out to left field for a single. And the 2-out rally continues. Jordan McArdle makes it up to first base for the second hit of the innings. Sorry, the third hit of the innings, because they've had 3 consecutive hits. DJ Mitchell gets under the first pitch. Mason Clavel's out there and cannot make it. It's a fair ball. He gets up there waving him home, and Jordan McArdle comes all the way around. Some sloppy fielding by West Torrens. DJ Mitchell gets a double, which I think he then has converted on the throw into a position at third base once again with 2 outs. Next hitter, number 7 hitter, is Jonas Garcia, the third baseman. So after what looked like a promising beginning for West Torrens, just a bit of sloppiness in the field has hurt them, and some good hitting from Sturt. 4 hitters in a row. They've put the ball in play, and they've done well to convert each opportunity. One and one for Garcia. Suarez puts the ball up in the air. Tom McGarry at first base comes in and makes the play and retires Garcia, but Sturt have done very well with 2 out. Picked up 3 runs off 4 hits and possibly 2 errors from West Torrens. I'm going to say I'd have to look at the official score sheet, but the wild throw from McGarry and then some sloppy work on the relay from Clavel into third base, and the ball dribbled along, and McArdle just kept running and scored. But anyway, we look to the change of innings now. We come back to Sturt's first opportunity in the field, and we've got Caps medalist Jackson Brebner-Russ starting on the mound for them today. Good to see Jackson come back. He was a bit sore early in the year, a bit stiff apparently, according to my sources. And it's good to see him back. Matthew Macbeth is behind the dish. DJ Mitchell, Dayton Mitchell is at first base. Second base is Mitch Lightbody. Third base is Zach Altamura. Third base is Jonas Garcia. Out at left field is Terrell Joyce. Centre field is Harry Nucky. And out at right field is Geordie McArdle. So, good start for Sturt. 3 runs at the top of the first innings. Now it's up to West Torrens to try and pick some momentum up of their own and see if they can get back into the game. Okay, so looking at the official score, there is no errors been recorded. In fact, it's just been 4 hits and the 3 runs. So no errors recorded there for West Torrens. So here we go. Jasper Clark leading off. The centre fielder, Jackson Brebner-Russ, the pitcher. And sends it in for a first pitch strike. Clark's had a fantastic season for West Torrens out at centre field. Certainly brings incredible athleticism to the role. And his position as a lead-off hitter has been pretty good this year, and he's got on quite a bit and used his pace on the bases to try and capitalise as often as possible. At the moment he's in an 0-2 hole. Brebner-Russ tries to get him to swing at one out in the dirt. Clark holds up, and 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. Now we've got a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Clark in the lead-off position for West Torrens. At the bottom of the first in response to a 3-run first innings from Sturt. Jackson Brebner-Russ on the mound. And Clark grounds that to Garcia at third, who makes the play across to DJ Mitchell for the first out. Batting second for West Torrens is their number 2 hitter, number 2, Tom McGarry. McGarry's had a fantastic few seasons. Normally he plays catcher. He's been nursing a sore shoulder this year, so he's playing at first base. And hitting at 2 all year for the Eagles. His old mate Jackson Brebner-Russ. Of course, in his first seasons, they were both playing together at Sturt. Tom moved to West Torrens when he was an under-14 at the end of the under-12s with Jackson Brebner-Russ, and he played in premierships at Sturt. 1-1 is the count. Two and 1 on McGarry. There's a rollover, hits it straight to Mitchell for the second out. Then batting in the clean-up position, in the number 3 position for West Torrens is Sam McGarry, the second baseman. Sam again has had a very consistent season in the number 3 hole and has been playing at second base all year. Fronts up to Jackson Brebner-Russ. Sneaks that one on the inside corner. 1-1. McGarry's got a lot of the ball. He's got right under it, and he's hit it out of the park. Well, we were speculating before the game in our conversations that the ball gets up into the jet stream, it may well carry, and that's exactly what Sam McGarry has done. He's put the ball over the fence for the first response by West Torrens, and we now have a 3-1 ball game. It's McGarry's second home run for the season. Batting clean-up for West Torrens is number 40, Mason Clavell. Mason moved across from Glenelg at the beginning of this season, has had absolute blinder of a season for West Torrens. Hitting close to 400, I think he's around 387, that sort of mark. And, of course, he's versatile, he can pitch as well, and with the need to pick up the cudgels in that area, he's done a fantastic job, and also he does a great job out in the field. So an accomplished player is Mason Clavell. Fouls off the first pitch. Finds himself in an 0-2 hole now. Brebner attempts to clean up with just the minimal damage. Leaves the ball up. One ball, two strikes. And swings through the fourth pitch he sees, and Jackson Brebner retires West Torrens for just the one damaging hit, which Sam McGarry got under and put out over the left field fence for the first run of the game for West Torrens. And we see the score sitting at Sturt 3, West Torrens 1 at the end of the first innings. Good opportunity to thank all the sponsors at West Torrens Baseball Club. F93 is the major caterer. Frank Reed Conveyancing, Bell Property from Dave Ferrari, Design Inc., Exceed Solar, the Australian Dental Foundation, the Lockleys Hotel have been a perennial supporter at West Torrens. Estate Grown Wines, Nova Vita, Actus, Mortgage Choice at Glenelg, Full Hammer Clothing, Stoke Fireplaces, B Switchcraft, and NC Renovations. West Torrens Baseball Club thanks all our sponsors, all their sponsors, for their support. And as all clubs will tell you, sponsorships are invaluable to the progress of the club, the maintenance of their facilities, and all the little bits and pieces. We come back to the top of the second now with Sawada still on the mound, this time pitching to Matthew Macbeth. Macbeth swings at the first pitch and grounds it down the third base line. Foul. 4-0-1. Macbeth, another product of the Sturt Junior system. They have very powerful system through the early noughties. Unfortunately for him this time, he grounds the ball to Broom at third base, and Broom is able to make a regulation 5-3 to Tom McGarry to retire the first hitter. The number 9 batter for Sturt today is somewhat anachronous, really, given how talented he is. It's young Zach Altamura, played in the under-18 state side this year, which did really well, and looking forward to big things from Zach. I know the likes of Craig Watts speak very highly of him, and clearly he works hard and has got the skills and the ability. So Zach Altamura, shortstop for Sturt. Two balls, one strike on Altamura. Altamira gets under that and gets it over Clavel's head, who misreads the ball, but it was a good hit. I think it was always going to be a safe hit for Altamira, who doubles into second base with a nice hit out to left field to 7. And Sturt continue their great start at the plate in terms of hitting. That's 5 hits now in 4 outs. We go back to the top of the lineup where Harrison Nucky, the centre fielder, comes to the plate for his second at-bat of the day. And we get a wild pitch that Weber can't handle, and Altamira strolls through to third base. Nucky, of course, grounded out to the shortstop in the first innings. Right now we've got a runner at third, 1 out. Masaki Sawada pitching. Foul back by Nucky. 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike to Harrison Nucky. Top of the second innings here at West Torrens. Sturt versus West Torrens Eagles. Sturt are leading at the moment 3-1. 1 out, top of the second innings. And a beautiful hit from Nucky. They are absolutely smoking the ball today. That's an RBI single to Nucky. Garcia comes in to score. Sorry, Altamira comes in to score. And it's now 4-1. 6 hits in 2 innings, basically. One and a third innings. So they're absolutely smoking it today, Sturt. Nucky at first. Now we've got Lightbody coming into the next position. He flew out to Sam McGarry and he smashes the next ball. But Clark at centre field, who's been absolutely brilliant all year for West Torrens, swallows that one up. And it's a second out. And Rickson Wingrove, who's single in the first innings, started the momentum rolling for the scoring of the 3 runs. Comes back to the plate now for his second at bat. Sawada just checking on Nucky's progress at first. Wingrove's eyes lit up a bit there. Like the look of it, had a swing. Of course, the bottom fell out of it. Nice little change up from Sawada. Runner at first, 2 out. Checks him again. Well, there are no major league rules that apply here. You can check your runner as often as you like at this league. There's a swing from Wingrove. Broom gets under it. It's in foul territory, but it's the 3rd out. And Sturt still managed to pick up the 1 run off Altamira's double. And then it was picked up by Harrison Nucky's single. So that puts Sturt 4-1 up after 1.5 innings. And as you can see from that shot of the screen, just a beautiful day down here at Lockleys. The sun's out, it's not too hot. Breeze is definitely blowing, carrying out to left field, so balls that get up in the slipstream might go. But, we're looking at West Torrens versus Sturt, and Sturt have opened up a good lead after 2 at-bats. And are holding a 4-1 result, or 4-1 lead. And we've got Jackson Brebner-Russ continuing. His first batter that he will face will be the shortstop, number 8, Jacob Scott. And Brebner-Russ to Scott, who swings at the first pitch, gets it high, but it's going to fly out to Geordie McArdle for a regulation out. 1 down. Good piece of it. It's a very comfortable take for McArdle. Hitting in the DH position is the great Tyrone Hambley. Ty, of course, was the coach of the last 3 premiership teams at West Torrens, but dating back to 2017, back-to-back titles the last 2 years. He stood down this year, but he's still continuing to play here and there, and takes the first pitch on the shoulder, much to Jackson Brebner-Russ's amusement. The leading home run hitter for West Torrens this year has been number 50, Jude Barker, the right fielder. Has had a meteoric rise up from the ranks of the juniors. He's got big levers. He's 6'5", 6'6", a big unit. Swings the bat hard. And with 1 out, West Torrens have got a runner on. Hit by pitch with Barker coming to face Brebner-Russ. Swings at the first pitch, and that's going to stay in, and he'll be out, caught by DJ Mitchell on 1 pitch. So far 3 pitches for Brebner-Russ, 2 outs and a hit batter. Next batter is the 3rd baseman, Ryan Broom. Ball down for the 4th pitch of this innings. One and one. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Broom. Just up, 2 and 1. I'd like to welcome to the microphone the president of Baseball SA, Tony Catt. Tony, great to see you down
Mark.
here.
Thank you for having me. Nice afternoon for it.
Beautiful day, and been a great start by the Sturt Saints. Certainly got those bats working at the moment.
Yeah, that wind has played a little bit of a factor in the early couple of innings. So, but yeah, no, a few come out the middle, which has been good for Sturt so far.
Well, certainly Sam McGarry's one looked like it was going to just be a pop-up to Terrell and went over the fence. So, I mean, obviously you take it.
Yeah.
You get the ball up in the slipstream, you're a chance, that's what we were saying, and that's a beautiful hit. And it's going to sit down to Nucky for a single to Broom, and he'll move Hambley up a base, and another hit. West Torrens, 2 out, and the next batter is the catcher, Oscar Webber. So yes, it's been a fantastic start. Some great 2-out hitting. Sawada thought he might have had Wingrove, and from that moment on, it went all downhill with I think 4 consecutive hits. Just great hitting, let's face it.
And against this, I mean, at the moment with Rickson and Geordie back, there's it's fairly, he's got a really significant spine to it, that lineup at the moment. And you've got to be on your game as a pitcher. You don't want to miss too many.
Don't want to miss too many. Don't want to be throwing it in the strike zone. Joyce hit a ball beautifully.
Yeah, it's a tough read for the
DJ Mitchell hit it really, really well.
Yeah.
Altamura hit a beautiful shot. So, I mean, there's been a lot of good hitting. It's been no edges and bloops. Have been good hits.
And well, I've got you today. Congratulations on the new indoor tunnels down here, mate. That all looks magnificent.
Thank you. Yes, we did have the special ceremony last night. We had the Minister for Sport, Katrine Hilliard, here, and the local member, Matt Cowdery, the Mayor of West Torrens, and a number of other dignitaries. So it was great to be part of it. Yours truly had a bit to say for a while until they kicked me off the...
It only went for 32 minutes, mate. It wasn't long.
Well, there was lots to tell because of the history of the whole thing. So, but we do find ourselves in a particularly advantageous position at the moment. The building we're sitting in right now, it's just beyond what we thought was going to be, and then to have picked up the indoor tunnels the way we've been able to do it has been fantastic. I mean, we did have to probably sacrifice 3 or 4 years with our junior program because we couldn't run winter things. So we're looking forward now to being able to build back up to where we were, and pleasingly, and you and I are on the same page with this. I mean, all sport and all clubs are all got to be about junior development. And I think, as I said last night, I think Sturt and West Torrens are sitting where they are now because of the number of locals that are sitting in both teams. And really, that's what's got to happen, around baseball. I see Adelaide have picked the ball up and they're running really well.
Doing a great job out there.
Goodwood have had a fantastic program. They've got pitches coming out of their ears. It's fantastic. Henley have had a good show. So that's what it takes. You need to have great junior programs to find the talent, to get them onto the diamond and potentially through. I mean, not every day are you going to find the Curtis Meads of this world, but you do want to find some.
No, he's it's a walk. Look, it's funny as well. Just you can't drop the ball for too long either, Mark. If you have a couple of years where your committee turns over, you drop the ball with your kids. It's amazing how quickly it can have an impact on a club too. So. You've got to really, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy from a lot of volunteers to make this stuff happen. So, no,
that's true, and what you say about the turning over of the generations, that's where it becomes critical. So each club's got to look at how they manage that, because it's not just about one era. If you're looking for prolonged success, you've really got to try and find a formula to keep the pipeline open. And it's that really for some clubs now. I mean, we're going through a really interesting patch with the amount of kids getting either signed or showing a lot of potential to go to college now. It's I think South Australian junior baseball is in an amazing state at the moment. It's really great to watch some of these kids. We'll come back at a JBR. But
it is,
it is something that I guess is probably morphed from when we first came through when my lads were really young. Everyone was looking to get signed, whereas now they're looking really the first option should well be college. And then if you get the opportunity, you might be able to go and get signed pro. So I know Alistair Tanner obviously is looking promising. I did see him the other day in class, and I did remind him that whilst he's got he's got the opportunity of going to Arizona State, and that's fantastic, and congratulations on that. He's got to make sure he gets through year 12 and does the right thing there. And that's, of course, assuming he doesn't get an opportunity to go professional. So anyway, it's fantastic, and obviously we can talk from experience. I mean, Tom McGarry spent 5 years in the US and transformed his game. He transformed him physically from just being a fairly small, good hitter, but fairly small player into quite a challenging prospect for opposition teams to get out. So that's been great. Obviously, the risk, of course, is you get someone like Mason Pickard who goes over and finds love and doesn't come back.
We thought that was going to happen to Mr. Hampden, so it was nice to have him back today. But Kai has been I reckon it's been 5 years since he put on a Sturt uniform. It's been a while. So
And considering where he finished his junior program, because what a team that under-18 national team was with Jacko, Kai, they were number 1 and 2, and then some kid called Tyson McKee who throws the grand final and just shuts the lights out. But Cooper Marsh, Will Cordicus, they were all pitching in that same team.
No, was that Harry? No, Nux was in that team. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I reckon he was.
Yeah.
Jared Miller was Brody Ariola was definitely in that team. He was the centre fielder in the team. Griffin Webber. Look, it was just a wonderful squad, and they converted one of the first championships SA had seen for a while, and now we're looking at national level with the Giants. So that's exciting.
It was really great to see Kai back in a Giants uniform, and obviously today, I assume he'll get a throw here today for Sturt, and I must admit also, mate, full credit to West Torrens with Curtis, come back and his ability to give back to South Australian baseball, and he's such a great lad. Every time I meet him, I'm super impressed with him, and I'm sure that he did lots around the club for you guys while he was back, mate.
Well, a wonderful family, obviously, and the Meads are West Torrens people through and through. And so it was wonderful to see Curtis come back, but how exciting for everybody that a Major League Baseball is prepared to come back and spend time at the club that produced him.
He's close. That was closer than I thought it was going to be. And he's so I don't know he's very unassuming, just very humble. I don't know how you describe him, Mark, but
but driven.
Yes,
let's face it.
He wants to go somewhere.
And, so I can remember. So he obviously was in that same team, that under-18 national team, playing at shortstop there. And I can remember having conversations with, with some people who were scouting him, and a couple of them just said, "No, this kid's going to make it." So it's exciting for baseball in Australia and South Australia.
Absolutely.
And if there's a state in Australia, I'm not saying other states don't love their game, but certainly South Australia loves the game of baseball, and the success of the Giants in recent years has been way overdue, and the passion in the state is extraordinary. That's a massive pop-up from McArdle, and it's going to Clavel, who drops it.
Tough catch.
It was a tough catch.
The Giants, it's just been amazing. And again, it's the knock-on effect, Mark, not a lot of people probably realise how much the kids' numbers into our sport but get boosted by the success of the Giants. Being on the back page of the Advertiser, or suddenly you bob up on Triple M radio where they're interviewing players, and you're on Channel 7 and Channel 9. The coverage is invaluable for us as a sport, and I think that you'll look. I think as a sport we'll look back in 5, 8, 9, 10 years, and I think the numbers will be fantastic out of that. So.
No, that's absolutely true, and there's no doubt the other aspect which has been an incredible positive has been the success of the women's program this year, which obviously we've got a number of players who've made the Australian team, particularly Carly Moore. Sadly, she's not playing this year, but what a wonderful thing that's been. I know here, even though I said recently that I was a little sceptical about how it was going to go at the beginning, I've certainly been made to eat my words. The having female involvement in the game has really changed the dynamic in club baseball, and it's wonderful to see what's going on.
Well, I guess it has been fantastic. I think that we're projecting that we'll probably move to a fourth division with women in the next 2 years, which will be, we'll probably play 2 divisions on a Sunday and 2 divisions on a Friday night. Is probably where we are looking at it strategically. And the other thing that's really exciting, and I'm not sure whether it's been announced yet or not, is we've got an under-13 state, effectively an under-13 state team going away for the first time.
For girls?
Girls only team. Okay. So the pathway is slowly but surely being put in place, which is absolutely fantastic. That is absolutely driven.
Absolutely smashed ball. And they'll score at least one, I'm guessing. As Joyce comes around, he's got plenty of speed. Great hit double from DJ Mitchell. Puts McArdle onto third. Still none out. And the Sturt hitting display just continues unabated.
So that's really exciting for us to have that pathway slowly but surely being put into place for the girls. And it's on a trajectory where the growth numbers are second to none for us as a sport. The real trick for us as a sport is going to be grounds. It is getting harder and harder to squeeze everybody in on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday now, and I think that's our choke point, Mark, and it's really challenging for us, and as for is for a lot of sports at the moment. It's really problematic.
Yes, I think football, I know, face a lot of issues around the same thing. I know the local ground here supports the Lockleys Footy Club, and they've got so many teams they just don't know where to put them.
Really,
the problem, of course, is, and they're not doing anything wrong.
No.
They're just using the facility as it's meant to be. But by the end of the football season, it's taken a hammering.
Yeah,
and it's why some of the clubs that are in shared use take a bit of time to recover.
Yep.
West Torrens looks, Lockleys Oval looks fantastic.
It does.
Today.
It looks a picture today.
We've had lots of rain and the weather's been kind. Fouled back.
And speaking of good, I went out and opened up Gawler's new facility today, and Gawler done a fantastic job out there getting that. The lights were switched on last night, the new lights. They're actually, I think, game lights out there,
okay.
And it's very exciting to watch what's going on out there with the growth in that area, and full credit to the Gawler board and Rob Laidlaw and Barry O'Brien. They're very passionate people out that neck of the woods, and good luck to them.
There's not a conversation you can have that Robert doesn't raise the success and the excitement that he has for Gawler baseball, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
and I have to say it's exciting also to see the number of players who are who probably started out that way, but because of the lack of opportunities to get through to that level, came into town, maybe to East Torrens, maybe to Golden Grove, have now gone back there. So that is great.
Yeah, even a Sturt, young Prokopek went back, and the Heinz Unger boys and Boyd Warden, and they've got a good nucleus. If they can hang on to those kids, they've got a fantastic nucleus of kids who are very, very talented baseballers. So fingers crossed. Dylan's doing a great job. Dylan Child would be remiss of me not to mention how passionate he is for making that work. So, it was really nice to see that all up and running today.
Congratulations to Gawler, and they've been out here this year, and they impress. They're very professional the way they go about it, and whilst they haven't won a million games, as a first year they've actually won some games, which is good, and some other clubs aren't even doing it. The hitting goes on. Brings in McCardle, and a single for Garcia. Picks up 2 more runs. Some very hard hit balls. You're not going to stop too many of them. McGarry got a glove to it but wasn't able to handle it. He's a pretty reliable second baseman. So we reached Matthew Macbeth. We still haven't seen an out yet in the 3rd innings, and Sawada's starting to feel the heat, I think, given that he's given up probably 9 hits.
His pitch count would be slightly elevated now. I haven't looked at what it is, but and the first turned into a longer innings than he would have hoped. So
indeed, yes, it did.
And everything all right down here, mate? New tunnels. What's next on the West Torrens strategy?
Well,
should I be asking Jamie?
I should be asking Jamie. I'm not on the committee anymore. But look, the reality is, I think we've got to continue to build and close up the loopholes that were created when we were without a home base for 3 or 4 or 5 years. So we've got to re-establish ourselves financially, which I think we're on the way to.
Good.
And obviously there are little bits and pieces. Do we look at getting broadcast quality lighting in here?
Yep.
Certainly Lockleys Footy Club play
play footy
here.
Yeah, nice.
And West Beach Soccer Club behind us, they play games at night. So it is problematic in the sense that...
Oh, shit.
That's a fly ball, fly bat from Matthew Macbeth. Problematic in that not all clubs have access to lighting, but it certainly is one of those dilemmas that the league faces. I mean, you would think that if you've got the facility, you might be able to use them, but...
I think it's our only ticket out of it, Mark, for the ground space and for the time slots. We have to start playing night games. And so for us, I think for the next 5 years, it's as where we can, we're going to have to try and push that narrative, I think, with the government and local councils. And unfortunately, it doesn't always, with being in suburbia, it doesn't always work too easily trying to co-share with residents, but yeah, it's something that we will no doubt talk a lot about in the next 5 years. And they're getting better. The lights these days, the quality of them is unbelievable.
No, so I'm not sure how much further, but I know we did have Nathan Davidson reach out at one stage, looking at potentially shifting the Giants women down here. I don't know what's sort of come of that league, whether that's happening or whatever, but
no, I haven't heard.
It's certainly something that would be ideal in a place like this, because it's got lighting, but whether the lighting would be enough is something we'd have to investigate further. But certainly when you stand here and it's dark and you turn them on, they're bright enough.
They're pretty good.
But is it enough to play under? Is it enough to broadcast under? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There is standards that I was sure I could look up if I googled them, Mark. But
no, there are.
With the amount of lux,
yeah. So Mark Snellgrove, of course, who was a former president at BSA and was involved in setting up West Beach. He said the same thing. It's all to do with broadcast quality lux.
Yeah, it's and that's going to be continuing our challenge down at talking about other bigger things. The bigger projects we've got to do is make sure that we continue to, now with the Giants playing out of West Beach and hopefully, that becoming more of a home for them, reinvesting in that facility and trying to continue to improve that facility for the spectator experience and so on, and the player experience is really critical at the moment. So that'll be a good conversation that we have now with the Giants and also with West Beach and the state government. So
the other thing that I haven't been privy to, and I'll sit and listen to it, is is considering West Beach as the home of baseball in South Australia. I certainly would be an advocate for the grand finals being played at West Beach. I know that's not going to happen this year.
No.
But it's to me, it's like the MCG. Do you go and play your home and away? Do you go and play your grand final of the SANFL or the AFL at the ground of the highest placed team? No, you don't. You play it at the MCG. You play it at Adelaide Oval, and I that's how I see
that's the final.
West Beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's unfortunately, it's just been a little bit problematic, resourcing it, Mark, to be honest, for that final series, and also the clubs. Financially, it's very lucrative having the club. I think the clubs see it financially more lucrative having it at their own home grounds.
Of course they would.
So there is pros and cons of that conversation that have dealt with for a while, and unfortunately, with the economy a bit tighter at the moment, it's become a little bit more pronounced in the last 12 months. But this year we'll see it back at the club, so we'll see how that goes, and no doubt it'll stay on the radar of the board and our office at BSA. So. Because it's not easy with the compliance requirements now with liquor licensing and toilets and, all the red tape trying to put on an event these days.
Well, that's it. And
security.
It's easy enough for me to sit there and say, okay, this is what it should be. But, and I guess that's probably the issue. We've got to be able to explore and to discuss, what it is and find out how we can make that happen so that you're not. Because look, I would always acknowledge that it is lucratively fantastic if you're home in the grand final. Good on you. But also there have been examples of clubs that have loaded up with players over the last few seasons and have hosted year after year after year of grand final. Because on the back of the fact that they've gone out and paid for a lot of players. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So that's my beef with it. It's another good hit that gets through for
eyes. Ground ball with eyes, that one. And therefore it doesn't, and I'm big on this equalisation sort of theory about we've got to support all clubs. It's not it shouldn't be just a wealthy club syndrome. We've got to grow it in the right areas. And as I was saying earlier today actually we're at Gawler and I was mentioning it was how do we grow baseball in the Adelaide Hills? For us strategically that's a big issue, and we haven't been there at all, and probably our closest club is Kensington, and
you've got to think the closest, the capacity to grow in Mount Barker. There's got to be fantastic. You look at the work that they've done on the AFL ground that they use for gather round. By the way, that's Sawada's done for the day, and he's come out with 2 out in the top of the third inning. Sturt is sitting with a 7-1 lead, and he's given up in the order of 10 hits. And Sturt have got runners at first and second. We're still in the third inning, and in comes a young up-and-coming prospect, a boy named Carter Rowe. He came to us a couple of years ago from Henley in order to try and find his way through into senior baseball, and he went away to the state under-18s this year, and he's a handy little prospect, throws well.
Is he son of
Adam Rowe,
yeah,
yes.
Nice. And so he's 17?
I think he was 17, maybe just turned 18. Yeah.
Has he pitched much A grade this year, mate?
He's done a lot of work
just
in release. So since the Corticus injury, and Jared Large also pulling up sore a couple of weeks ago, we've just sort of been tiptoeing around them and just trying to find what other prospects you are. And this boy's stood up, and as is Jacob Scott, Mason Clavel, they can all throw nice pitches. So good opportunity for him to face a serious lineup. And I don't think there's any more serious lineup than what we're seeing today. With 10 hits in the first 3 innings, it's been an absolute show. He's
a big fella. It looks quite good frame. Yeah, smooth action. Yeah. So just back to that topic of Mount Barker, Mark. It is, and it's easier said than done. Once again, strategically trying to once you've, how do you put a club in there? Where do you get the people? Where do you get the money? And where? And it's. I mean, probably everyone listening on this call knows what the growth we've seen in Mount Barker and then and through to Strathalbyn even. It's amazing now. So, as a sport, we can't afford to ignore it.
Really.
Yeah, no.
So, Carter Rowe to Mitch Lightbody, who cues it. I reckon that's as hard to do as anything in world sport.
To
get it off the cue of the baseball bat.
It is very, very hard to do intentionally. Nice
little breaking ball.
The under-18s, I'm trying to think where they finished this year. They had a reasonable tournament, I think.
I think they win the silver.
Silver.
They won the silver medal.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And it was one of those that they were done by the weather because
that's right.
They did lose to the Vicks, who ended up winning it.
Yes.
And but they won critical games, and it was just got right down to the end. And unfortunately, the one that they gave up against Victoria, I think they were leading. That probably cost them the final. And Victoria got out of jail because they were trailing WA in the last game.
That's right. I saw that.
And they got up in the last inning and held on and won the title. So.
It's that tournament play with weather and pitch counts and participation requirements. Yeah. It's an interesting thing to navigate for the state coaches. And
in some respects, finals baseball is a bit like tournament baseball. You've got to manage it. You've got to have pitching.
Yep.
You've got to be able to manage it well, and then let them look after it.
Yep.
And there's certainly, the key to the success we've had in grand finals in the last couple of years has just been the depth of pitching that we've had. It certainly helps to have some guy called Newborn come in and go K2, K2, K2 for the 3 best batters in the league, with Garbella and Hernandez. That certainly helps.
What's his trajectory? What's Mitch's? Mitch up to?
We caught up with the newborns in Perth over Christmas, and so Mitch was back. He's actually suffering, I think, from celiacs potentially.
Oh, okay.
He certainly discovered that he's allergic to wheat.
Right.
And he was suffering badly. That's another good hit. Gosh, they're hitting well. Another double, I would say, and that's going to score 2 more runs. Gosh, they've been hitting well.
Yeah, coming out of the screws.
So he'd lost a bit of weight because of that, and I know that given the way he finished, the Phillies were really keen to get him back early. So he went back way before
everyone else.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
And they've actually had him under medical supervision.
Wow. Okay.
To get him back, get him put some weight back on.
Yeah. Wow.
And I believe somebody told me last night that it has in fact happened.
Good.
And because I know the Phillies are very excited with what he did.
Yes.
And certainly when he pitched in Japan in the World Baseball Classic and struck out a major league player, smashed the bat of a Japanese big hitter, and certainly get the scouts sitting up taking notice when pitchers can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, this young fellow at the plate certainly grabs anybody attention. What a powerhouse he is.
Yeah, no, he had a great ABL season.
Yeah. And he had a pretty good season too, playing over in the Phillies for the Blue Claws.
Yep. Yeah.
So he'll be looking to build on that, I would expect.
Speaking of which, it was nice to see Tank get the job with the AAA. I think that's a feather in his cap as well. Congratulations to you, Tank. It's great to read. And once again, it was the other thing that I think has gone under the radar a bit is that we had effectively a local coaching group coach the Giants to victory again this year, and that's coaching is imperative to try and grow the sport as well. And I think that it should be just sort of really shouldn't go unnoticed that the local coaching group did a great job with the boys this year.
That's true. I know young Nate Van der Linden from here. He's not finished playing yet, but he's starting to look beyond the days that he's playing on the diamond and what he might do next. And of course, he loves the game, and so that's where he's looking. Yeah,
it was. Obviously, Dunny's been a stalwart there, and who else do we have? Miss Young Gladstone.
Yes.
Scotty was there, and. I think Ben Onofrio was still there. He's still there.
Riley Moore also?
Was
she involved?
No, you had Tolsey was the pitching coach. I reckon Tolsey was pitching. So yeah, it was great to see. I saw a photo of them holding the shield the other night, and I thought, you know what, that's good.
Well, the other thing that struck me, and I mean no disrespect at all, but it was much more pleasing to see the maturity in the celebration.
Yes.
As compared to last year, because we all appreciate that breaking a 42 or 43-year drought was something significant, but I thought the far more sober and intelligent and thoughtful the celebration, so that was cool.
We only got one noise complaint at 4 a.m. in the morning down at West Beach, so...
I did bump into Alistair Tanner on Monday morning, and Dad came to pick him up at 3 a.m. And he had to be in legal studies class at 10, so I'm not sure how much he was listening.
I might have still had the sunglasses on, I think.
Fantastic story for him and for baseball in South Australia, and is a product of Kensington baseball. And Galley spotted him and just said, "Geez, this kid can throw hard. What can he do off the mound?" And bang, what are we looking at?
Yeah, to see. Oh, hasn't seen it. Oh, good catch.
Green takes the catch and winds up the innings, but not before another 5 runs are picked up by Sturt. Just good hitting, finding the alleys, hitting doubles, and getting the runners in scoring position, and then picking them up. Can't possibly complain about any of that. It's been an absolute clinic today from Sturt. And they're showing their colours, because I think it's going to be a challenge to try and knock off Henley. I think Henley have thrown down the marker this year, and one wouldn't want to be accused of trying to jinx them. But I think this is an opportunity for them that they'd be disappointed if they can't convert this year.
Yeah.
But having said that, certainly we're not going to allow them. If we can, and I'm sure if it's Sturt or Adelaide or whoever makes the grand final against them, assuming they make it, it's not going to. You don't just get given premierships.
No, I think you're right, and
unless
I think
COVID
everyone starts again at the start of the finals, as you know, and it's. I think Adelaide have shown probably a little bit of maturity again this year, take another step forward from last year's good run towards the finals, and I think that they really probably matured with some of the older heads around their group with Stefan and so on. They're taking a step forward, and Woodville have probably they're going to be plucky around it. I think that they've got a good old crew there, and who knows, on the right day what can happen. So certainly have quite enjoyed some of the evenness of the competition. A lot of one-run games, extra innings games this year. I've really from
this
afar.
This is probably the exception to the rule, to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
the 8-run blowouts in 3 innings, that hasn't happened much at all.
No.
But having said that, you know, as I said, finals are all a different ball game.
Yeah.
It all comes down to pitching.
Yep.
We were talking before how we went into the grand final last year, and Landon, I think, was 13-0, and we all respect that man and what a great talent he is. You know, and obviously led Henley brilliantly all year. So this year they've added Wilson back to their to their bow, and all of a sudden you've got Wilson, you've got Lando, you've got Rooster, and you know, there's a promising start for them, and then it's about how else they tap it up. And assuming Garbella's injury is not going to have him out for the season, you know, he's going to make an enormous difference. Such a powerful hitter that he is. So once again, I think what we're seeing from Sturt today is what Henley produce every week. They're just basically a very consistent lineup. They've got good pitching and they hit well. And so, you know, that's when it comes down to finals baseball, that's what you've got to be able to produce. And luckily, the last couple of years, West Torrens have been able to do that.
I can't imagine how it seems to be. Henley have had this very good mentality this year of being able to win from anywhere, and they've won. I don't want to add them up, but they've won a few come from behind games this year. So I won't say they've had it all their own way this year, but they've certainly won when it counts. And
that's what I mean. I think the maturity that you know, being in and around the last weeks in the season for the last couple of years is now starting to you know, have a positive impact on what they're doing, and you know, hopefully from their point of view they now sit pretty. But I'm sure Sturt are not going to let them have it all their own way, and certainly if West Torrens get there, that won't happen. And I'm sure if Adelaide get there, they won't make it happen. Woodville, you know, so it isn't a lay down misère, but a fantastic beginning to the season for Henley. And it's a real bottleneck for the rest of the teams trying to hang in there for the finals.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. It's been good. We're back to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre for the Caps Medal this year. So excellent. Make sure, just get those that are listening, make sure you get and look out for that and book your tables this year to come back. We've got Mr. Casey's coming to MC the event.
West Torrens person.
Yes,
good boy.
He is. He's the voice of basketball in this country. And
I'll tell you what, he loves his baseball too.
He's very passionate about it.
His lad's here playing in the juniors, and you know, we're delighted that he's here and that he loves the game so much. But that's a coup for baseball, SA.
He'll be fantastic. And
it's always good to have somebody who's knowledgeable, or at least is able to carry it through. With the year you had Tom Wren, I thought he was outstanding. You know, just was able to engage, did some research, and what have you. And that's not to denigrate
anyone else who's done
the job.
And I think a different voice too is nice for the audience, and it's certainly think that we'll also go out of our way to probably celebrate the fact that the grand final, I don't think we've done as good a job of that as in the past few years. That certainly we'll make sure that grand final week is, you know, we make a big song and dance about who's got there, and make a big deal about it. So I'm looking forward to. I'm not sure who is in. I haven't watched enough this year to know who is the favourite for the Caps medal this year, Mark. So
well, ordinarily you could say Jacko's a lay-down misère. He's going to be in there, but he's been injured. You know, Mason Clavel from here has been very good as a two-way player, and that's another good hit from McGarry. He's going to pop it up. He's 2 for 2 today, so he's done nothing wrong at the plate. Moves Tom around to second, and all of a sudden West Torrens have got runners at first and second. Of course, the 8-run deficit doesn't get any less just yet. But
one at a time.
One run at a time, indeed. And young Clavel, who's been a revelation. I think he's revelled in the fact that there's been batters around him, rather than he feels that he doesn't have to be the power hitter every time, and I think that's benefited him. And you see with his average, and he's certainly got home run power, but he's also got great capacity to get the ball in play and hits the ball hard, just like the Sturt boys have done this morning. So when the ball has got eyes, it's got enough power to get through a lot of the time. So he's been a wonderful acquisition here.
You would have thought, probably, I was trying to think back to the Caps medal, probably some of the Henley boys would be around the mark, and I think Terrell's been hitting well for Sturt. I don't know what his numbers
the whole
are.
season though?
Terrell, he's probably turned up about a few weeks late, I think. So.
No, well, look, Terrell is a first-class person, and so he's easy to spot in the field because he's he's tall, he's athletic, he hits the ball well, and he's a hell of a nice bloke. So. We certainly enjoyed the season he played with us, and we can understand why other clubs would look to have him on board because he's just a terrific gentleman. Look, I think you're right. I reckon probably the guys out at Henley if they're not taking votes off each other. I mean, how do you go past Lannon? Every time you look at the results, Lannon's doing something.
He's amazing.
Whether Rooster polls well because he's been very consistent, but the obvious one is Wilson Lee.
Yeah, no, and because he's a two-way guy.
Well, he must be leading.
You'd think he'd have to be. Yeah,
he's done every time there's been a close game. It's always been him.
Up. Yeah.
So that would be my tip at this stage.
That's your money, Mark.
That would be my tip. But there are players at other clubs.
Yes.
But it does come down to things like that. The umpires catch the eye of the players who are able to do things on both sides of the plate, whether they're pitching, whether they're hitting, and it's spectacular.
And it's been nice to see young Macca back behind the dish this year. He's had a year off with his injury last year, and I think the team missed him, to be honest. He's that spiritual leader in Sturt, and the team love having him around, and it's great to see him back behind doing what he loves.
Well, I neglected to mention when Tom came to bat, I said that Jacko and Tom had played together at Sturt at juniors, or of course so did Macca.
Yeah.
Right, the three of them were in a premiership team, I think, at one stage in under 12.
Yeah, that's right, many moons ago.
So, yes, we...
How old are they all now, Mark, your lads?
I think they're about to crack 30.
Wow.
So they've been around a while. I remember, I reckon Tom was 9 when I rang Phil Robbie up and I said, what's the chances do you take them at 9? He said, bring him down. And because at that stage, because we only live down the road from the Waite campus, and that's where the T-ball was held.
Yeah, that's right.
So the next logical step was to head there. But you can blame, and I said at the time, you can blame the fact that our friends moved from Somerton Park, which was just down the road, to West Lakes, and that precipitated that move because wherever the individual concerned, who I won't name, was going, then Tom had to be. So
no, it was. All's well that ends well, I think, Mark. I think everyone's found a good home and done great things. So.
West Torrens has been fantastic to us, and and I said to you when we left, we had no beef with Sturt, and it was just the circumstances, and we have nothing but the greatest respect for it.
Oh, that could be costly. That could be the break.
Unlucky, Garcia couldn't quite handle it. He's usually pretty solid at shortstop there. At third base. Yeah. Altamira picked it up for him in the end and backed it up, but these things happen, and so Clavel will get on. We'll just wait and see what the scorers see there. I'd say it's probably going to be an error.
How does the just while we got a break, Mark? I was always curious. A lot of people don't know that you take these nets down and put them back up every year. These backstop nets. That'd be a fairly lengthy / is it a costly process?
Well, costly probably.
Yes. The council do it,
yes.
Or right.
Yeah. So look, as you may recall, the original building that sat on this western boundary had a permanent backstop.
Right. Yes,
and,
it did.
Obviously, as part of the original discussions about what's going to happen, we said, well, baseball needs a backstop. Yeah. So what are you going to do about that? And first of all, they just weren't going to have one. And I said, well, no, you need to understand that it's played live off the backstop, right? So you need to do that. So once we got past that, then we started to direct them into examples of what infrastructure exists around the country and around South Australia that they might follow. And they went down to West Beach, and obviously they didn't want to put a brick wall.
No.
And obviously the Lockleys Footy Club were not interested in having a permanent net up all the time. So this was the compromise.
Yep.
So they've sunk some big wells. That's a ground ball. This time he's going to get a play at second, double play. But will pick up the run.
Nice little turn around the horn there.
Indeed.
Mitchie with his strong arm.
So Scott grounds into a double play, but the runner from third, Tom McGarry, does score, and so that takes one run at least off the deficit. And certainly one bloke who could cut the deficit in a hurry, standing the plate now, is Tyrone Hambley.
So do they have to bring in? So these poles are sunk down of what, 6 feet or something, or how?
10, I think.
10 feet.
Yeah, 10. So they've got pylons or piles that they just screw them onto. So at the end of this, it only takes a day.
Right. Okay. So it's not too bad. No.
All of the it's basically contracted out each season. They get a scissor lift, takes the nets down, and then they get a crane to come in and they're just bolted in basically. And then they're covered up with sauce. A part of the repatriation each year for Lockleys Footy Club to take over is that all the cutouts and everything, and the mound and all the dugouts are all resurfaced with grass. And, if they're a bit careful with it, then they'll get a full season, without noticing too much. I mean, it's not ideal from a football point of view,
absolutely.
Especially when you have a look at the rest of it, it's like a carpet.
Yeah.
But the twos and the fros are that, well, we get it back from football, and it's chopped up to billio most of the time. This year it wasn't too bad.
There's a run.
And wild pitch will allow Sam McGarry to come in. Pick up a third run.
So they just store it off-site?
Yeah, so it all goes down to the West Torrens Council Depot, which is just off Morford Road there.
Yeah.
And all of the outfield fencing sort of sits over near the badminton centre and just is housed just off the field. We do that. But the council does all the rest of it, so it's a contractor that comes in. And the dugouts become the football ground out by Hamley, retires the side, but West Torrens get 2 runs back. And now the challenge is to see if they can hold Sturt to less than 5.
Yes, if they can put up a donut. It's always. I always remember the time when with the Giants during the when the Giants used to go in and have to go and bounce in, bounce out at Nord Oval, and the complaints from Nord Footy Club about the baseball cutouts and how the grass was left, and pre-season it used to be a very contentious issue, the changeover.
Which was a pity from a baseballer's point of view, because Nord Oval was such a great venue. But I totally get, and particularly at SANFL level, at Adelaide Footy League level, yes, I can understand it, because I mean West Lakes, Smosh have to share the ground with Henley. I know East Torrens has to share theirs with East Torrens Paynham Lacrosse Club. So wherever it's a shared facility, and as you know, a couple of years ago when the final ran into April, it started to become really problematic because we're out of here on the 1st of April.
That's how the leases are designed.
Exactly.
We have Goodwood.
And
Goodwood as well,
with Candlelight Gardens. So therein again lies a problem if you're going to run to the local clubs, and then pushing the finals back as late as you can. That it becomes difficult to guarantee the facility and then get off it. Mind you, we have a good relationship with both the Lockleys Footy Club and the West Beach Soccer Club. So we all understand that we're all in it together and we're all sharing the same facility. And if we need to give and take a few days, so the time that we take over is the 30th of September, so you think, oh well, we want it on the 1st of October, but it's not always possible, and
a little bit of give and take.
You just got to, and when we won the flags, and I think the flag 2 years ago was in April, and so Footy Club just said, listen,
it's his third hit.
He just smashed them all down. They just said, place is yours, keep it for the next couple of days, and we'll take it up, And again, they've had to work around their off-season stuff, so they go to different venues to do all their pre-season running and what have you. And, we did have issues, if they wanted to come down on a Monday or Tuesday night, we'd sort of say stay off the infield. Well, footballers don't know what the hell the infield is, you know.
What area is that, Mark?
So I can understand that, you know, like there's no malice in the thing, but equally, if you're trying to keep the thing smooth and clear, you don't need footballers running around it. So anyway, as I say, they go off site and then they get back as soon as they can.
I did speak to a couple of the Nord board members recently and said, how much would it take to get back to play the Giants baseball back there? I even threatened to say, well, I'm not, Nathan may be listening, but I did say, what, just for a special weekend, it was one weekend. There was a not for sale sign up at Nord.
Well, it's unique because of the echoing. That's another. Let's see with this. It's just an absolute clinic today. The hitting has been superb. That's a single that puts Joyce very quickly onto third base, and all of a sudden we're first and third with none out. So that's just what we're seeing today. Sturt have just been absolutely brilliant the way they've been hitting the ball, and all kudos to them. I can't say that West Torrens have done much wrong in terms of their fielding and what have you. It's just been an absolute clinic with the hitting, so well done to them. And now they've got DJ Mitchell, who's one of the quiet heroes, who's got plenty of power in that bat. And Carter Rowe's got to try and deal with him. So, yeah.
Yeah, Nord was just that good amphitheatre of a ground, wasn't it?
I remember that back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, from Brycey.
That was just...
I'm trying to think of the other two that lefty from Sydney.
Welshie was one of them.
Welshie. I'm trying to think of the other one. Tom Bryce, if you're listening, please.
Text me and
remind me, Yes, it was lovely to see Paul Mildren throw the first pitch out the other night to Mr. Bryce. So it did bring a smile to my face to see those two clowns going back out there. But very good.
But I mean, that particular game, you know, that was when that was probably the greatest disappointment, you know, in following Giants' bite.
Yeah,
was that, you know, to have won that game the way we did, and then be ahead in game 2 and then lose it, and then lose game 3. That was a real disappointment.
Just exhausting. Yeah, and I do remember it fondly because I was obviously chair of the Adelaide Bite at that point in my role there, and but the crowd was just off the charts. I mean, I think we had it was somewhere in the 8,000 mark. It was, the buzz around that field was amazing.
And we've never quite sort of struck that back at West Beach. And even though, I mean, I was in the crowd last year with the Newborns watching Todd Van Stensel get the final strikeout, which was just amazing. And then again this year he's done it for the Giants. So that was awesome. But it just hasn't quite captured that atmosphere that you'd be hoping to pick up. It's a potential double play. McGarry to Scott, and he does pick up the double play, but Joyce picks up another run. Sturt's 10th on 13 hits. And yes, they did credit Jonas with an error, which is probably legit. The ball did go into his hand and he mishandled it. So we've got 2 out now.
That was well done by Carter Rowe there. It was get the ground ball. It's good spot. You do get a very good view from up here, Mark, don't you?
It is good, isn't it? It is good.
It's nice. You can see the plate quite clearly and you can see the location.
So I'm sure, though, that our friends in the umpiring fraternity are not always enamoured with the expertise sitting up here, because, of course, what we can't tell is the height of the pitch.
That's true.
We can see whether it's over the plate or not.
Oh.
And some have got better hearing than others, I will say that.
Selective hearing. It's great to sit on top of be so close to the player. It's a great spectator experience.
And a hit from Garcia to Jacob Scott. He gives it across to Tom McGarry, and they're able to convert it.
I'm going to move. Thank you for having me today, Mark.
Tony.
And good luck for the rest of the game in the season, and all the best to West Torrens.
Thank you very much for coming along and having a chat with us, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, buddy.
All the bye. Well, here we are back at Lockley's Oval, and we're coming into the bottom of the fourth inning in what has just been an absolute exhibition by the Sturt batting lineup. They've produced 14 hits, several doubles, and just been a power lineup. Of created 10 runs. They've just given up the one error, which did end up scoring for West Torrens. But Jackson Brebner-Russ, other than that, has been immaculate, and he continues into the bottom of the fourth innings, and he'll be pitching in the start to Jude Barker, the right fielder for West Torrens. Barker flew out, I think, first pitch, and he's only at bat. Called strike on the first pitch. Good piece of it from Barker, but it's going to be sitting up there, and Nucky's going to get under it and make the catch out at centre field. Two out, one out for West Torrens. Ryan Broom to come to the plate. Broom got a hit in the first inning, his first at bat. Which is the first strike. One and one. Swings through it. One ball, two strikes. With one out, bottom of the fourth for West Torrens. Sturt leading comfortably 10-3 after 3.5 innings. Just off the outside edge. Two and two. And Broom gets under that one. Coming around from second is Mitch Lightbody, who makes a great catch. Nearly knocks Jordan McCardle out in the process of throwing it back. But, 2 up, 2 down. Bottom of the fourth for West Torrens. Jackson Brebner-Russ has now thrown 65 pitches, 66 pitches, so his economy is going very well. And Oscar Weber, catcher, number 9 hitter, at the plate. Swings early, swings hard, ball's going long, and he's put it over the fence. Yet another one. His third home run for the season for Weber. Certainly got all of that one. And West Torrens just continue to hang around. They're a long way behind still, but they're doing the right thing in terms of trying to get some scores on, and if they can get control of the lineup from Sturt's hitting there, and then they're a chance to come back. Scores now set at 10-4 after 4 innings, with 14 hits to Sturt, just the 4 to West Torrens, but 2 of those went over the fence. Jasper Clark, the leadoff hitter for West Torrens, comes back to the plate with 2 out. And a called first strike. Clark has a big swing at that one. It's 0-2 behind now. One ball, 2 strikes. So Clark holding firm. He's 2-2. Hasn't made it on base safely yet today, but has had a really good season so far. Swings that one, gets the inside bottom portion of the bat and fouls it down the third base line. 2-2. Slider just off the plate, and we've got a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jasper Clark. Bottom of the 4th, 2 out. Another good piece of it from Clark. Unfortunately, drags it into foul territory. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Clark punches that one deep. I don't think it's going to be deep enough. I think Harrison Nucky's got a good cover on it, and he picks it up just metres inside the fence. And it's the end of the 4th innings with West Torrens picking up 1 run. The score, though, is West Torrens 4, Sturt 10 off 14 hits. West Torrens have had 4 hits. 2 of them have gone over the fence for home runs. But it's looking at it from a purely neutral point of view, it's just been an absolute clinic at the plate by the Sturt batting squad. They're a formidable unit, and they're doing very well. 14 hits is nothing to be sneezed at in the first 4 innings. And, so the pressure's going to be on for West Torrens to find a way of trying to restrict them to just the no runs if possible, because they've been able to keep them to 1 twice. The crooked numbers, of course, are always damaging. Got young Carter Rowe on the mound for West Torrens, and leading off this innings is the catcher Matthew Macbeth. Okay, here we are back at Lockley's Oval, where West Torrens is playing Sturt. Sturt are leading 10-4. We've had 4 completed innings. They've out-hit West Torrens 14-4. It has been an absolute clinic put on by the Sturt batting lineup. We've got Carter Rowe pitching to Matthew Macbeth. One ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. 3-1. And Macbeth takes a base on balls. So young shortstop Zach Altamura comes to the plate now with a runner at first, Matthew Macbeth, none out. We're in the top of the 5th. Good piece of it by Altamura, but he's turned it a little bit and it's landed foul. For 2 strikes. Foul back, an 0-2 pitch, and we're still in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Just a breaking ball off the pitch for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Zach Altamura, shortstop for Sturt, at the plate. And he's lulled into a swing for a first out. All right, back to the top of the lineup, and Harry Nucky comes through. He's 2 for 3 today. Got out in the first at bat, but has hit really well since. He's got an RBI. Got a runner, Matthew Macbeth, at first with 1 out. That's a wonderful hit again by Nucky. It's his 3rd hit and 4 at-bats. Out to Clavell at deep left field. Picks it up. It's a double. He puts Macbeth onto 3rd. And the batting train just rolls on. 15 hits now to Sturt. 1 out. Top of the 5th innings. Next up is Mitch Lightbody, who's had a relatively quiet day. He's got 2 RBIs with his 1 hit. Lightbody at second base now, facing Carter Rowe. One and 1. 1 out. Runners at second and third. Ball's put up by Lightbody. I think it's going to go foul. It does. For a ball and 2 strikes. Carter Rowe to Mitch Lightbody. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Throws it in the dirt. Wild pitch, picks up another run. Nucky moves up to third. 11-4. Light body, 2 balls, 2 strikes now, with 1 out. Top of the 5th. Plenty of good contact there, but that's going a long way foul out to the car park. Over into the tennis courts. That's a decent hit. Two and two. Breaking ball off the side, off the edge of the pitch, the outside edge. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. We've got a full count with 1 out. Fouled back by light body. Still got a full count. And the procession continues. Light body walks. Macbeth walks, scores on wild pitches. 1 hit from Nucky, and Andrew Scott, coach of West Torrens, is making a move. That'll be it for young Rowe, who's done a pretty good job, given his youth. The opportunity of facing such an experienced and talented hitting lineup has been daunting, but now we heading into relief for James Snellgrove. Snellgrove's made a bit of a comeback this season and has been pitching well, certainly looking fit. He'll be looking to try and limit the scoring here, but with runners at first and third and 1 out, the challenge will be in front of him. James Snellgrove in to pitch for Carter Rowe. So as Snellgrove warms up, it's also worth mentioning that one of the coterie groups at West Torrens, or the coterie group at West Torrens, the Wedgetails, is having a day today. So the Wedgetails is a group of supporters who are helping out financially in the background, trying to raise money for different functions that they're doing to increase the facilities that are available here at West Torrens. One of the major things they've done in recent times has been to provide a scorer's box, and I know that it's something that they're looking at providing a bigger one in the near future. They're also looking at helping out with the furnishing of the batting tunnels, which has all been decked out in artificial grass, and the netting and all that sort of thing. So the Wedgetails are a valuable coterie group here at West Torrens, and it's their special day today. Of course, they'll be a bit disappointed at the scoreline, but one can't take anything away from Sturt. They've been absolutely brilliant in the way they've been working the runs, taking the opportunities, hitting the ball where it was, picking up doubles almost at will. And now we're facing Rickson Wingrove, who at the moment is 1 for 3. He's fouled out twice. Snellgrove comes in, first pitch is a ball. And of course, due to the vagaries of the weather this season, Sturt and West Torrens will front up again on Tuesday night. So Jude Barker out at right field's under that ball. That'll be good enough to knock Harrison Nucky in with a sack fly. 2 out. Mitch Lightbody stays at first base, and Sturt juggernaut keeps rolling on. It's 12 runs to 4 now. on 15 hits. It's pretty hard to deny that. Terrell Joyce now comes to the plate, and the threats just continue. I think Terrell hasn't been dismissed today. He's 3 for 3 with an RBI and 3 runs. And there he goes again, just hits it into the gap. But Jasper Clark does what Jasper Clark does, and he finds a way to get somebody out when nobody else thinks it can happen. So great work out there by Clark. Exemplifies just what he's been out there at centre field all season. He's been terrific. And again, another good piece of hitting by Joyce. It wouldn't have surprised me if the ball got down, but Clark cut that out. Sturt, on the other, still managed to score 2 runs, and they move to 12-4 now. And I guess one cannot deny the fact that that they've been going well. We've just had confirmation that the back-to-back-to-back home runs, the third of those batters was Mitch Denning, who came and played for the Bite that season. So Stephen Wells, Tommy Bryce, and Mitch Denning with a back-to-back-to-back. Thanks to Phil Hurden for letting us know that. Much appreciated. Right, we go into the bottom of 5th now, and the inexorable charge to the finish continues, and it's going to be Jackson Brebner-Russ continuing. He's going to be pitching to Tom McGarry. Tom's been 0 for 1 today. He got a walk, did score off a wild pitch. And he pops that one up to shortstop, where Zach Aldemura pockets that one. 1 pitch, 1 out for West Torrens. Next batter up is his brother Sam McGarry. Sam's 2 for 2 today. He's got an RBI and 2 runs himself. One of those was a home run to left field. Not surprisingly, Brebner-Russ doesn't give him the outside of the plate, stays inside for a ball. Picks up the edge of the plate there, 2-1. And another hit from McGarry, a brilliant pickup from Lightbody, and McGarry beats it out. So I thought that ball was through, but Lightbody had other ideas. But McGarry was quick enough to get down the line and pick up his 3rd hit of the day. So certainly he's done his job. Mason Clavel, who's 0 for 2. Struck out once. Playing left field today, Mace. Is a very powerful hitter. Facing Jackson Brebner-Russ. Who finds the outside edge of Clavel's plate for the first strike. Bottom 5, 12-4 to Sturt. And a ball with eyes, and Clavel picks up his first hit of the day. Moves the runners up. McGarry gets to second. And they're in scoring position once again. So West Torrens have not been without that. It's just they have not been able to stop the juggernaut that is Sturt scoring. So Brebner Russ to Jacob Scott. Scott's been 0 for 2 today. Did get a good piece of it earlier, but McCarter was good enough to catch that ball. Brebner Russ to Scott. Ball's up. Scott swings at a ball way off the plate. 1 and 2, 1 and 1. And bounces the ball, and he beats it through. Mishandled by Dayton Mitchell. Got a bit of a funny bounce and was unable to recover in time to get the ball to Jackson Brebner Russ. And Jacob Scott will make it safely onto first and push the runners up to second and third now, with Tyrone Hambley to come up to bat. And the West Torrens Eagles are 1 out with bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th innings. So Brebner Russ now to Hambley. Bases loaded, 1 out. Swings through the first pitch. Hambley's 0 for 1 today. Got hit by pitch at his first at-bat. Surprisingly, when Hambley makes contact with the ball, it goes a long way. Unfortunately for West Torrens, it went foul then, so he's 0 and 2 in the hole right at the moment, with bases loaded. Brebner Russ tries to draw a full swing from a pitch out wide. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Hambley makes contact that goes foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom 5. 1 out, bases loaded. 12-4 Sturt over West Torrens. Foul back. Still 1 and 2. Tough at-bat here for Brebner Russ as Hambley's trying to make contact. He's made good contact with the balls that flew foul, and he's fouled back the last 2 times. So Brebner Russ ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyrone Hambley with bases loaded, 1 out. And is hit, and that'll pick up a run for West Torrens as Sam McGarry will come across the plate. The score will move to 12-5. Hambley's being subbed out of the game, and Nathan Van der Linden's coming in his place. Got Van der Linden, Scott, and Clavel. Williams comes out to have a chat. At this point, Brebner Russ has thrown 90-odd pitches. So I guess the question Williams will be asking is how he's feeling, and looks like he's probably seen enough for the day, and certainly Brebner Ross has done a remarkably good job for him. And coming to the game, of course, is a young star for Sturt, just returning from his time at university in America, played on the Giants roster in the Championship Series, Kai Hampton. So, as I alluded to in the conversation with Tony Catt, the under-18 National Championship side that had Curtis Mead in it, Jack O'Loughlin, they've both been signed and playing professional baseball. Kai Hampton was the number 2 pitcher, as well as Will Corticus, who's playing here at West Torrens, Cooper Marsh, Tyson McKee, as well as young Curtis Mead, yes, and Brodie Areola, of course, who's playing at Port Adelaide. Griffin Webber at Goodwood. So yeah, there was a star-studded team, and of course this is Kai Hampton. First time that we'll have seen him here in Adelaide for a while, and he's warming up, and he'll throw his first batter to Jude Barker. Will be his first pitch to Jude Barker. We still have one out, and it's still bases loaded. So Barker comes in, and he'll see Kai Hampton for the first time. Product of the Sturt Junior Baseball program. Just down and away, the first pitch. Grabs the outside edge to even the count at 1-1. Blew that one by him with a fastball. Barker's now in a 1-2 hole. And welcome back to baseball in South Australia, Kai Hampton, as his first batter is struck out. And it's now 2 out with bases loaded for West Torrens. And Ryan Broom left with the task of trying to clean up here. Broom, of course, is 1 for 2. And he grounds the ball to Lightbody at second, who gets the out across to Dayton Mitchell. And Sturt worked their way out of trouble with bases loaded, 1 out through Kai Hampton, who only had to throw 5 pitches to get it done. So we now see the score sitting after 5 innings. Sturt run 12 runs, West Torrens 5, as we go into the second half of the game. All right, of course, Eagles want to thank all of our sponsors. F93, I mentioned them before, Francesco Patelli. He's got his little cafe down at Croydon Road at Ashford. Frank Reed Conveyancing, Dave Ferrari and Bell Property, one of our major sponsors for the last couple of years. We've got Design Inc, Exceed Solar, Australian Dental Foundation, the Lockleys Hotel, B Switchcraft, NC Renovations, Nova Vita Estate Grown Wines, the Stoke Fireplaces, Full Hammer Clothing, and Mortgage Choice. So we thank all of the sponsors and of course Actus. We want to thank all the sponsors for their support over the season. It's valuable. We wouldn't be able to survive as a club without your valued input. So thank you. As we move now into the top of the 6th inning, we've still got Sturt coming up to bat is Jordan McArdle with James Snellgrove on the mound. The third pitcher for West Torrens, Masa Sawada, started. And Carter Rowe came in and did a couple of innings in relief for him. And now we've got Snellgrove thrown to Jordan McArdle. So the threat gets no less for Sturt, with McArdle, Mitchell and Garcia, the next 3 hitters up at the plate. So McArdle facing James Snellgrove. Two balls. So Snellgrove's got himself into a 3-0 hole. Pitching to McArdle, who'll probably stand and look at this one. Three balls, one strike. And yet another lead-off walk. Brings up Dayton Mitchell. Ground ball to Jacob Scott, who is unable to convert the double play, and so it's a fielder's choice ground out, and Jordan McArdle is retired. So we've got one out. Dayton Mitchell's at first. And now we've got Jonas Garcia at the plate. Jonas is 1 for 3. Scored a run. And Snellgrove gets ahead with the first pitch strike. Garcia finds himself in an 0-2 hole with one out. We're in the top of the 6th innings. That's a little off-speed pitch, doesn't find the plate, and Garcia's not tempted to swing. And he gets the KC. First one for the day, I think. Garcia struck out for the second out. brings the catcher Matthew Macbeth to the plate. Macbeth's had a quiet day with a walk, and 0 for 2. He has scored a run. I think he scored when he was when he got on for that walk. So we've got a runner at first, Dayton Mitchell. At the plate is Matthew Macbeth, catcher for Sturt, and he gets hit. So walks and hit batters, of course, don't help anyone, but no intent, of course. And we now find the number 9 hitter is the shortstop, Zach Altamura. So runners at first and second. So runners and scorers, runner in scoring position for Sturt with Altamura at the plate, and he takes the first pitch on the outside edge for a strike. Off-speed pitch, picks up the outside edge of the plate, and Snellgrove finds himself ahead 0-2. Runners at first and second, Altamura at the plate. Fastball just misses the outside edge, 1-2. That pitch is fouled back. Just up, 2-2. Zach Altamura, shortstop for Sturt. James Snellgrove is pitching for West Torrens. We've got a ground ball. Broom picks it up, throws it across to McGarry for the out, and lo and behold, West Torrens finally get a donut up on the board. And Sturt remain at 12 runs. After 6 innings for them, in the middle of the 6th, West Torrens are coming to the plate, of course, with Kai Hampton pitching. It's going to be a good challenge for them. So one glance at the scoreboard will show you just how well Sturt have played today at the plate. 3 in the first, run in the second, 5 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, before finally West Torrens were able to hold them to 0 in the 6th inning. Ironically, West Torrens actually haven't been that inactive themselves. They've only had the 1 innings where they haven't scored, but of course they haven't put up the big numbers that Sturt have done. We've had 2 home runs, 1 from Sam McGarry and 1 for Oscar Weber, and a couple of RBIs from some well-hit balls around. So the challenge now will come to Weber as he comes to face Kai Hampton. So Weber, Clark and Thomas McGarry are the 3 batters due up. And Hampton's on the mound for Sturt. bottom 6. Webber swings early, but doesn't quite get enough of it. So it's going to push McArdle back 2 or 3 steps. Good piece of it from Webber. The first out. For West Torrens in the bottom of the 6th. Jasper Clark. Takes a fastball just on the inside of the plate for a strike. One and one. Fouled back by Clark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Inside pitch for 2 and 2. And blows the fastball by him for strike 3. See, Hampton's certainly at another level, even from Brebner Russ. His fastball's probably got greater velocity, and he's pretty confident what he's doing. Right, Tom McGarry comes to the plate now to see what he can do in terms of trying to deal with Kai Hampton from Sturt. Strike on the outside edge. Another strike on the outside edge. McGarry in an 0-2 hole. Hampton way out ahead, very confident what he's doing, throwing good solid fastballs. McGarry's able to hold up there, and Hampton missed the outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. And not surprisingly, McGarry, having seen the likes of Hampton in his career at college, not fazed by the speed. Hampton's certainly a very, very good pitcher and a different quality to what we've seen around here today. McGarry's able to find a ground ball through to the left-hand side, and he picks up his first hit for the day and moves to first base with his brother Sam McGarry coming up to the plate now, trying to deal with Kai Hampton. 2 out. He swings hard through the pitch, doesn't make contact. 0-1. The ball is jammed up, and Lightbody just comes on and makes the easiest of regulation pickups and tosses through to Dayton Mitchell, and that's the end of the innings for West Torrens. And for the first time in the game, both teams are able to keep the opposition to 0. So the game score after 6 is Sturt 12, West Torrens 5. So it looks like West Torrens are making some game moves here. The pitcher, James Snellgrove, has been relieved by the third baseman, Ryan Broom. Coming into his place at third base is the designated hitter, but now will be the third baseman, Nathan van der Linden. So Ryan Broom will take up the cudgels from the mound. Van der Linden moves to third base. Nate, of course, has been busy the last month or so, last 6 weeks with the Giants, and obviously was there as the first base coach during the championship run. And now he's able to come back and put his concentration back on the club West Torrens and his position. Of course, he's a famous player here, broke through as a 15, 16-year-old way back when, 15 years ago now, almost half of his life ago. And in the 3 premierships West Torrens have won since he's been playing, he's been adjudicated as the best player in all 3 of those grand finals. So each time he made a massive contribution as a pitcher, and has been an outstanding servant of the club. And he's in his 30th year along with Tom McGarry. They're the veterans in the team. Most of the rest of the squad are only pretty young. Sam McGarry, I think, is 26. Broomy's probably 26. And then you've got the Scots at 22-ish. Clavel maybe 23, 24. Barker's only 19 or 20. Clarkie'd be 22, I think. So yeah, they've got some youth on their side here at West Torrens, as do Sturt with the likes of Altamura and Garcia. They're young blokes. Miss McCardle and what have you at Sturt are sort of entering their veteran stages now. They've been playing in Division 1 for a long time. Mitch Lightbody would be the same. He'd be 25, 26. So it's great. They're coming into their prime, and it's showing. So, a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're pitching to Harrison Nucky, who again is probably in that young veteran range now at 25. Again, having won, maybe I'm overstating that. He might be a year or 2 younger than that, but certainly part of the junior programs, state programs coming up. 2 balls, 1 strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Broom pitching to Harrison Nucky, who is 3 for 4 today with 2 runs and an RBI. And he earns a walk. So Mitch Lightbody. Is hit. So in 5 pitches, we've got a walk and a hit batter, and Rickson Wingrove coming to the plate. And the score's 12-5. And takes a first pitch strike. And Wingrove hits a 3-run bomb, as almost you come to expect it, for a 10-run lead, which now puts the game in mercy rule position. 16 hits, 15 runs. Certainly walks and hit batters you can't fight. So you can put up with a home run from a hitter like Wingrove, but I mean, you've also got runners ahead where you didn't do anything to get there. Well, good luck to you. So now Terrell Joyce is also a powerful hitter. None out, 15-5. Joyce fouls the ball to Tommy Winter. Joyce has just been dismissed the once today. He's 3 for 4. One ball, one strike on Terrell Joyce. Ryan Broome pitching. Geordie McArdle eagerly waiting his turn to bat. And Joyce pumps it. He's angry with himself because it didn't go out, but of course Barker's underneath it and catches it. So there's one out. Jordan McArdle coming up to the plate now. And he smashes it, and that's gone over the fence. 2 for another home run. 16-5. So McArdle and Wingrove going deep to match the home runs of McGarry and Webber. And that's on top of the walks, hit batters, and a couple of doubles that, well, several doubles that they've hit. There's been an absolute clinic at the plate from Sturt. West Torrens, to say the least, have been a little disappointing in terms of what they've been able to serve up with pitching. They haven't been that bad, I guess, with their performance at the plate. They've got 5 runs and 8 hits, couple of home runs, so that hasn't been the problem. But certainly finding ways of getting the Sturt batters out has been a problem today. And Mitchell pops the thing up and it'll go foul. As I said, looking ahead, assuming that West Torrens are going to struggle to get back inside the mercy rule position, Sturt and West Torrens facing up again on Tuesday night at Mitcham. WA Norman Reserve. We've got a full count now, 3-2 on DJ Mitchell. Who smashes another ball up the middle and picks up an 18th hit for Sturt with 1 out. Coming into the game for Jonas Garcia is pinch hitter Dylan Ridding. And Reading quickly finds himself ahead 3-0. And without even having to get the bat off his shoulder, he finds himself at first base. Dayton Mitchell moves up to second. And looks like Coach Scott is going to give Broom a break. And he's going to make a change here. Looks like he's going to go to Jacob Scott, the shortstop, to come in and take over the ball, the pitching duties. But as I said, at this stage of the game, with the score at 16-5, an 11-run lead is certainly mercy rule calculation. Jacob Scott's going to come and pitch. Looks like Nathan Van der Linden will move up to shortstop and Ryan Broom will go back to third. All right, so Jacob Scott's in. He's going to pitch first of all to Matthew Macbeth. Just an indication of how much of a command the Sturt batting lineup's had over West Torrens. Sawada got through 2 2/3, Rowe got through 1 2/3, Snellgrove 1 2/3, and Broom just got the one out in his inning. And now Jacob Scott. So they've absolutely dominated the West Torrens pitching today. And West Torrens got a lot to think about in terms of how they're going to recover from this, and they have to front up again on Tuesday night up at Sturt. All right, so Jacob Scott's ready, and Matthew Macbeth steps up to the plate. We've got Dayton Mitchell standing on second. Got Dylan Ridding at first. We've got one batter out. Terrell Joyce popped up to Jude Barker. Jacob Scott. Two balls. And a swing through to get the count even at 2-2. Scott to Matthew Macbeth. Macbeth fouls that one back to the right-hand side. And he's not happy because he thought that was his chance to put the ball over. Such is the level of confidence being felt by the Sturt hitters at the moment, and who can blame them? 18 hits, 16 runs, it's just been a procession. West Torrens have had absolutely no answers from the mound to stop this juggernaut of a batting lineup. As a hitting team themselves, they haven't done too badly, but certainly been smashed. And it's back to a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Macbeth strikes out. Bringing Altamura to the plate with 2 out. We're in what will probably be the last innings at this stage, unless West Torrens are able to mount a little bit of a rearguard action in terms of scoring some runs. Altamura facing Jacob Scott. Runners at first and second. Fouls off the first pitch. Fouls off the second pitch. So Scott's ahead 0-2 at this point. Got runners at first and second. There's 2 out. Two strikes on Zach Altamura. Drags it back to 2-2. And Altamura strikes out. So Jacob Scott's able to restrict the scoring over the last 2 innings, the last innings to just the 2. So now we come into the bottom of the 7th, where if West Torrens don't score 2 runs, the game will be over. We've got Kai Hampton, and he's going to be pitching to Mason Clavell. So Clavell, Scott, and Nathan van der Linden. Clavell, Scott, and Nathan van der Linden to try and effect that change. Of course, with Dylan Ridding coming into to bat, he's going to third base for Jonas Garcia. All else remains the same for Sturt. Mitchell at first, Lightbody at second, Altamura at shortstop, McArdle, Nucky, and Joyce in the outfield. Right, and Hampton's ready to go. Clavell comes up to the plate to commence what could be the final innings of the game. Up and inside. Hampton's enjoying his work out there. Swings hard on that pitch, but I think it's just going to squeeze foul. It does. So 1-1 on Mason Clavell. 16-5 Sturt. Bottom of the 7th inning. None out. 1-1 on Mason Clavell. Kai Hampton pitching. Up and inside again. 2-1. Right down the pipe, 2-2. And Clavell strikes out. One down. Bottom 7, 16-5, Sturt lead. Jacob Scott up to bat. And an early swing by Scott goes foul. Strike 2. And a ground ball by Jacob Scott prolongs the game. It's a single out to centre field. Harrison Nucky picks the ball up. Scott gets to first base. Nate van der Linden comes in for his first at bat for the day. And the Linden's quickly 0-2. And a 3-pitch at bat retires van der Linden. All right, down to the final out of the game, and it's youngster James McFarlane, one of the under-18 silver medal team. Been playing a lot of outfield. Gets an opportunity to see pretty high-quality pitching, I have to say. Had a couple of doubles in B grade this morning and had a good day. So a good opportunity for him to see something impressive like Kai Hampton. Makes contact with that one. So we are 0-2. So just one strike away from wrapping the game up. One ball, 2 strikes. Kai Hampton to James McFarlane. And McFarlane absolutely crushes it. Well, that's fantastic. That's probably his first serious hit in A grade. He had a ground ball with eyes earlier on, and he doubles in Jacob Scott. Great effort, James. Well done. So that brings it back to 10 runs now, but of course West Torrens still need another run to avoid the mercy rule. But as I said, today hasn't been the fault of the batters. The batters have done their job. It's just been their inability to make any impression from the mound against the Sturt batting lineup, who's now racked up 18 hits in accruing 16 runs. So it's Kai Hampton to Ryan Broom. Broom swings at the first pitch, and it's a ground out to Mitch Lightbody, and that'll do it. And that's the end of the game. So congratulations, Sturt win the game 16-6. Just doing a quick summary of what the results were. Jackson Brebner-Russ, of course, through most of the game for Sturt. He's the winning pitcher through 92. Kai Hampton came in and just shut down any opportunities that they had. Looking at the Sturt lineup, the highlights, well, Harrison Nucky had 3 hits. Rickson Wingrove had 2. One of them, of course, went very deep. Darrell Joyce went 3 for 5. Geordie McArdle put one over and went 4 for 4. Dayton Mitchell went 3 for 5. So the hits just kept on coming all day. So the only people who didn't rack up a hit on the day were probably Matthew Macbeth, and Dylan Ridding only had the one at bat. For West Torrens, said they weren't disgraced. They had 9 hits. Sam McGarry had 3, went 3 for 4, scored 3 runs, put one out. Oscar Weber put one over the fence, and he's 1 for 2. But it started to be limited from that point of view. They were only sort of single hits. Tom McGarry had a hit, Mason Clavell had a hit, Jason Scott. And in the end, it just wasn't enough, as West Torrens were blown off the park today by the offence that is Sturt and their classic defence in the pitching of Jackson Brebner-Russ and Kai Hampton. So that wraps it up here at Lockleys. Final score, West Torrens 6, Sturt 16. Thank you all for joining us today. Come again another time.